Guys, it's not a joke. It's not a meme. The PC client is finally almost here. And with it coming out, or with the announcement of it coming out on the 14th, you will finally be able to visit maybe Stove or some other site that epicseven releases or announces, and we will finally be able to play epicseven properly without any emulators or any random third-party workarounds for you to enjoy, well, in, I don't know, all of its glory on PC. Now, there are a couple things that I wanted to talk about today in regards to the PC client, including what you need to do to prepare, and don't worry, it won't be too long or too bad. All you need to know basically is that it's coming out on the 14th, and it isn't super well known right now how long this is going to be, well, available for. I don't know if the pre-release or this test or the availability that they're describing on the 14th means that you will, I guess, have it be officially launched that day, and then maybe they'll officially launch but like not remove access from us up until that date. But for whatever reason or whatever the case is, they're announcing that there's a pre-release for a client. And again, I apologize because I've never dealt with a pre-release for a client before. That's like a little bit weird, but there are some really interesting and honestly positive implications from the client finally coming out. But before that, again, let's take a look first. Let's take a look first at the pre-release client page, and I'm assuming, here it is. It's the Stove client. Oh, I actually did not click on this yet. That's interesting. This reminds me a lot of like the Epic Games launcher. I didn't realize it was like this. I didn't realize that they were releasing a whole client. This actually kind of makes sense, because in a sense then they were maybe part of the reason why it took so long for the Stove PC client or the PC client period to come out is because they were waiting to release something similar to what Epic Games has with Fortnite and all the other Epic Games titles. But as you're seeing here, they included the minimum requirements and the recommended requirements. Not really insane, 8 gigs, an i5, a 1060. I get it for what it's worth. Again, like, some of these are maybe not, it's not for everybody, and that's okay. But realistically, if you're playing a game like epicseven on your PC and you have an emulator, it's not going to blow up your PC, I promise. These requirements are not the most strict, and they're not the most insane thing ever. However, again, they, of course, give you these recommendations, but again, if this is anything like what LD Player is, or Mumu Player, or even BlueStacks is like, in most cases, you'll be fine using whatever PC you have, so long as you don't have, I don't know, like 7 or 8 other games open at the same time, or hundreds of Chrome tabs like I usually do. Now, of course, I do think that there are a couple things that are important about the fact that the PC client is coming out. Number one, the fact that they actually remembered, because as they stated here, they said that they were working on this since the grand finals of the E7 World Championship, and now it's finally here. But also, in almost every single gacha game that I've been a part of or I've taken a look at, whenever a game is existing or has existed for a while, and they re-release or they release a follow-up PC client to a game that doesn't have a PC client already, usually through either Steam or through another third-party app or through their own official means, it does increase or does raise more awareness to the game, primarily because they also, well, spend a bunch of time on advertisements, and they also usually have another events coming alongside it. Now, this is the pre-release, so I'm not entirely sure what exactly will be coming with this event. We did also just have, all of the activities from, I don't even remember what, the Epic Dash Pass, that's what it's called, that may insinuate that there might not be another huge event that comes alongside this, but it would be ridiculous, honestly, if they didn't have some sort of event to celebrate the fact that PC client is coming out, because this will include, or introduce a whole new audience to the game. So stay tuned for that. There may be something that ends up coming alongside this, but whether that comes with the pre-release launch or whether it comes with the official launch, is neither here nor there. Again, kind of treading into unknown territory here. I personally haven't been a part of a pre-release client celebration kind of launch event. Now, I will say though, for what it's worth, and not to say that I don't appreciate the new PC client coming out, a lot of the clients out there nowadays are honestly pretty serviceable. As someone that has for a long time spent days upon hours upon weeks streaming games like epicseven on client or even on emulator, you know, the game is like maybe a little stuttery at times, but by no means unplayable or in such a way that I would be bothered by the way that or the appearance of things on the client. I mean, this is, by the way, with me having a couple games open on in the background, and I get it, not every single client will be to the same extent, but this as opposed to, or this as a means to, I don't know, oh, pretty cool, by the way. Thank you for the mystics. This as a means, or comparing the LD player to the client that we may have, in my eyes, it will be nice, of course, because it's going to be more easy, or it's going to be easier to download, and you don't have to deal with, something like BlueStacks or Moo Player having you log in through like 11 different emails and signing up for their whatever and a whoozy whatsy, and having to figure out which app store you have to download the game from. And in that sense, having more streamlined content, having a more direct path to downloading the game, in my opinion, is a great thing. It's fantastic, in fact. But seriously, like if you just take a look at, again, like what we have going on right now, while I do appreciate the PC client period, I hope players, or I hope like the viewers and audience and, the new users of this client understand that unless if they have announced some new feature alongside it, which they can, by all means they can, effectively you may get at best something like the Google Play client, which is something that a lot of people have lauded as being really good and was what a lot of people thought was going to be the official PC client of epicseven, and a lot of people are treating it like that. But then they announced this whole, oh no, just kidding, we're doing the PC client via, I guess now, the Stove client. The major issue, though, and the reason why I think a lot of people weren't as psyched about the Google Play client, although I do know a couple people that downloaded it, specifically is because there were a couple of settings, I believe it's something with like hyperthreading or something to that extent, where the only way for you to use the Google Play client for epicseven effectively or properly was to have this setting on, but it also affected the other games on the Google Play client or any other emulators or gacha games on your PC, which of course is really annoying because not everything is on the Google Play client and not everything, is going to be compatible. Now, if you ask me, in the history of playing gacha games, you don't usually just play one, or sometimes you want to experiment with others. So being locked out of other gacha games just because you downloaded maybe a 20% better client doesn't really make sense, especially if you have to do some really long workaround, as opposed to, well, just sticking with BlueStacks, LD Player, Moo, Nox, whatever emulator you decide to go with. Now, I do want to say that there are, of course, issues that I've had with clients like LD Player and BlueStacks, where sometimes you'll get stuck on the loading screen forever, but while I would love to say that the new Stove client in theory would have, eradicated or gotten rid of a lot of these issues, I can't actually say for sure that that's going to be guaranteed. In fact, with the fact that it's paired alongside a bunch of other products like Lost Ark, assuming that it's paired alongside things like Lost Ark, according to what we saw here on the Opera page, there's a chance that, well, the client could be even more finicky or even more buggy because now it has to, they're effectively releasing the Epic Games client, from what I understand. But again, I know, again, like maybe having multiple of these products all at the same time mean that there's more resources, which, it's tough to say what'll end up actually happening from the result of this client, being released. But I just wanted to kind of give you guys a couple of my thoughts on it. Honestly, I won't make this video any longer than it has to be. Again, to kind of summarize very quickly, I know a bunch of you guys have been asking for TLDR sometimes in the videos. TLDR, new client, cool. Weird or a little bit unusual that it's a whole like game client as opposed, or like, like a platform client as opposed to just a game client. Hopefully they release an event alongside with it because we are in a little bit of a downturn, or, like a little down period, which is okay because we just had all the balance stuff in the Epic Dash Pass. But you know what? If they have another cool event, or they release or announce something cool, or a collaboration even, that would be pretty sick. And it would make sense with the timing of a new PC client. And finally, we don't know, or at least from what I've read, I don't know for sure if the client is only going to be something where you have like a beta weekend and you test it, or if it's going to be in like open beta the way that games like Warframe and stuff were like, or Minecraft were in open beta forever basically, and then they finally released like 6 months to like a year down the road officially. That doesn't really mean anything though, because it's officially released. They just call it open beta for some reason. But whatever the case is, yeah, that's my general thoughts on it. Also, like if you didn't know, this was alongside the update patch. Schneel's coming out. I know a couple of you guys were commenting about it on the video last time, and just a very brief aside. The reason why I talked about Schneel in relation to other characters is because, again, like if you go 1-for-1 on one character to counter another, almost all those characters have historically been bad. That's why I was considering the other, you know, characters and how good they would be against each other and how good Schneel would be against, well, the meta characters in the game. But I'm, you know, I acknowledge Schneel against DDR, that should absolutely destroy DDR in 99.99% of cases, unless if they do some weird thing where DDR is only using his S2 and you can somehow kill Schneel, but it looks really tanky. Anyways, just a minor aside, just wanted to let you guys know my thoughts on that and all the other content that's been released. And guys, you know, maybe we could put down the pitchforks a little bit. I promise, you know, I'm an understanding person. I'm more than happy to admit when I'm wrong, or that I'm wrong when I'm wrong, and things like that. Don't always get it right, but thank you guys again for supporting and watching. Anyways, that's going to be it for this video. epicseven, let me test out the new client, please. That will be really cool. Hope you guys all get to test it as well. I don't know what the process of it is going to be, or if we can already download it. But yeah, thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys all next time. Good luck on your Schneel pulls. Good night. Adios. Bye-bye.